Is the road tax in the UK about to change for motorcycles? Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and the series of videos. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave those comments below. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com and click the bell next to the subscribe button for all future videos. So in this video I'm talking about motorcycling in the UK. For those of you who don't know, we have to pay an annual road tax, a taxation to enable us to just ride or drive our vehicles on the road. Now, for most vehicles these days, it is based upon the CO2 emissions of the engine. However, in motorcycles, it's not. It's based upon the engine size. Now, as it currently stands, I'm going to read it directly off the government website here. For a single annual payment for engine sizes not over 150 cc's, it's £20. For 151cc to 400ccs, it's £43. From 401 to 600ccs, it's £66. And over 600cc, it's a flat fee of £91. Now, if you decide to pay in installments, or if you decide to pay every 6 monthly, actually there's going to be a little bit more that you have to pay on that. But essentially that's what you're paying a year. Now, what many people are saying within the industry, but also rumours coming out of government departments as well, is that they may change the method of taxing motorcycles in the UK and switching it from engine size to emissions as well. Now, we've already had an indication of this might be happening in London and many cities around the world, where they're adopting a ultra low emission zone, or ULEZ as we like to call it over here in the UK, where depending on the age of your motorcycle and the obviously the size of the engine as well, they will say, okay, well, you have to pay a taxation, let's say a fee to ride your motorcycle within the inner area of London. If you watch my other video up there about the ULEZ as well, or back in the archives, you'll find it as well. But essentially, what they're thinking about doing is changing that to reflect the whole of motorcycling all over the UK as well. If they change it to emission standards, and base the taxation upon that, then we could see higher taxes having to be paid for older motorcycles. Now, many within the motorcycling industry, the community, would say, well, actually, we should be promoting motorcycle use no matter how old they are, because yes, there might be some emissions issues, but also you've got to think of the mobility and the easing of congestion. So one, the benefits certainly vastly outweigh the negatives of any emissions. The more people we can get on motorcycling, the more people we can get out of cars, the less congestion there'll be, and that will be better for the environment in general. However, taxation and government departments rarely work like that, so we could expect at some point, there is no definite date on this, so don't be alarmed just yet, but you know, there could be a move towards moving the taxation of the annual road tax for motorcycles in the UK for an engine size-based criteria to an emissions-based criteria. And quite frankly, that will most likely affect our older motorcycles, or motorcycles that have been modified in some way. Now, this will affect lots of different motorcycles, as we know. Let's say, for example, I ride a Harley Davidson. Well, Harley Davidsons nowadays are made with emissions in mind, and they're already pre-planned, if you will, to comply with future emissions standards, certainly in Europe and around the world. As soon as you start modifying the bikes, or upstaging, changing the power commander, changing the tuner, if you will, then that seriously affects the fuel rates, and that affects the emission standards as well. So, you know, there are big things in play here. And, you know, many motorcycles, both new and old, may be affected by it. It will be a minefield how to regulate this. But if they take it on purely on stock motorcycles, you would say, older motorcycles, first of all, are the most likely candidates to have an increase in road taxation. It depends whether they will then be exempt, because after a certain amount of time in the UK, older motorcycles, older vehicles are exempt from taxation as well, or have very reduced rates as well. So it's going to be a change in environment. There is no doubt that road taxation for all vehicles will change in years to come. The government's going to have to find some way to combat the lack of revenue from people switching to electric vehicles as well. You wouldn't be surprised if electric vehicles become taxed as well. You know what they say. There are only two things that you can guarantee in life. That is death and taxes. And probably something else as well. Right, anyway, well, I hope you found that useful. So don't be alarmed just yet, but this is a strong rumour coming out that in future years, let's say, it might be even sooner than that, that the motorcycle taxation charges will change in the UK, and it will be based upon emissions and not engine size. Right, please like, share, subscribe, leave those comments below. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. Click the bell next to the subscribe button, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.
RevelatorAlf.